Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Andrew Warren, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about a recent purchase that I made with Tesla stock once again, in which I spent around $1,070 on Tesla stock, and I actually got a really good buying price in comparison to where it's at right now, and even in comparison to the day that I bought it at. It was seriously on the chart, the lowest point of the day, and that was on December 22nd, which was also the lowest Tesla stock has gone over this past week, or even with this complete pullback that we've seen so far. So I actually got a really good buy-in price for the majority of that $1,070, and then with the other separate purchase, which was part of that $1,070, which was like a $164 purchase, I got it at around $623 per share. So we'll go in depth on this in just a second, including all of the receipts, showing my Roth IRA account and the progress with those so far. But as always, of course, if you enjoy the Tesla videos and the transparency on these purchases, then please make sure to smash that like button. And I did mention this a little bit in the most recent portfolio update, but I always like to dedicate a video to these purchases because it just makes it more accessible, and it's a lot easier for someone to just glance at the channel and know that I'm buying more Tesla stock rather than having to watch the portfolio update and getting to the certain part where I talk about that. So that's why I like to make videos dedicated to these purchases, just because it makes it more accessible in terms of knowing what I'm buying, and it also gives me a chance to talk about my mindset and my justification for why I'm purchasing at these prices and my mindset going into this upcoming year as well. Getting right into this, just to address the current share price for Tesla stock and the movement for yesterday. As of right now, we are an hour away from 4 a.m. about it, so pretty close to when the market starts to move again. And keep in mind, there will not be a stock market day for Friday since it is Christmas. Of course, big early Merry Christmas to all of you out there. I hope you have a fantastic and safe holiday. But just addressing Tesla stock, we are at a value of $642.59 per share, and in the normal market hours yesterday, we had a plus 0.88% gain, which is plus $5.64 added on to the share price. And then in the after hours, we are at minus 0.52%, which is minus $3.39 from the share price. And just to cover this purchase on December 22nd that I made, keep in mind my power went out pretty much all day and all night that day, so I wanted to cover that when I first made the purchase, but I just wasn't able to do so. But basically for the year of 2020, there's still a little bit of contribution that I need to put into Tesla stock for me to max out that Roth IRA. And at that point in time, I think it was around $1,170. I've brought it down to like $200 and some at this point in time. So with this specific 2020 Roth IRA account, I've kind of been going through a lot of thought processes with me kind of trying to figure out when I should make this purchase, when I should try to max out the rest of that Roth IRA. And I kind of went back and forth between maybe waiting until a little bit closer to April. That way I made sure that I had all of the tax payment that was due. But as I continued to think about it, it really didn't make that big of a difference because taxes and the Roth IRA deadline are on the same day, I believe. So there's no point in waiting until that date to make sure that I have taxes paid first, because I want to make sure that I have both paid off either way. So both of them are going to have to be done, so I might as well just get the Roth IRA out of the way. And with that in consideration, there was the question of, well, when do I make this purchase? Should I make the purchase before S&P 500 inclusion, or should I wait until a potential pullback? And I think on a red day, the week before that Monday of S&P 500 inclusion, there was a little bit of an opportunity for me to make a purchase. So I ended up using all of the extra cash that I had in the bank account at that point in time. I think it was around a $400 purchase. So at that point, after I made that purchase, regardless of what happened with the rest of that week, I would have to wait until at least Monday, which was when I was getting paid, Monday on S&P 500 inclusion. And so with that, I came into it realizing that there was probably going to be a pullback with Tesla stock after S&P 500 inclusion. And I even stated that and dedicated a video specifically to that topic because I was really excited about S&P 500 inclusion, but I wanted to make sure it was known that there is a big possibility for a pullback after that occurs, just because that's something we've commonly seen in the past with Tesla stock. So with that extra money that I decided that I wanted to put into the 2020 Roth IRA account, I decided to wait a little bit longer, even though Monday was a red day, I believe. And I think in the portfolio update on Monday, I stated that I would be making a purchase sometime soon and that I would be buying the dip, but that I was expecting it to go down a little bit more. And I stated that I wasn't exactly sure on the price that I would actually make this rest of the purchase for the Roth IRA for. I had really no idea what that special number was going to be. I just went into it looking for that point in time where I almost had like a gut instinct to go ahead and make a purchase to max out the rest of the Roth IRA account, and that ended up being on Tuesday. And I know there's nothing super scientific or analytical about just trusting my gut instincts, but with this purchase, I was expecting this pullback to happen, and it's really hard to predict a good price to buy in when it is pulling back a little bit or when it's selling off a little bit. So with that, I knew that there was going to be the likelihood of me buying and then it going down even more, regardless of the many different choices that I have of buying at or when I make that decision. So I was going into it knowing that I was likely going to buy and then it was going to potentially fall a little bit more. That's just the mindset that I have going into pretty much any purchase. I know that's a big possibility. It's like a 50-50 chance it either goes up or down after I buy it. But basically, just to show you all this, as you can see on Monday, December 21st, it started to dip significantly towards the end of the day, and then that's when I was saying that I was just going to wait a little bit more because I thought it would pull back a little bit more. And so on Tuesday here on December 22nd, it started to dip significantly in the early morning of the day. And I specifically remember seeing like this point right here, trying to figure out whether I should make this purchase or whether I should wait a little bit longer for it to fall a little bit more. I remember specifically seeing it when it was at like minus 3% and trying to think of whether I should actually be making this purchase. And I thought, you know what? I've seen Tesla stock in the past. There's been many times where it goes down 4 to 5% in one day. And my mindset with that was if it's going down 3%, something that we commonly see with that is once Tesla starts to go down significantly, you know, we're not talking about like a minus 1%, minus 2% drop, but once we get into that 3% range, then that's when you get that panic selling from a lot of those people that don't have the long-term perspective. And it's kind of like a snowball effect to where if it gets to that certain point where it's at like minus 3%, minus 4%, it can kind of cause a lot of other people to start selling off a little bit. And so I thought, you know what, maybe that 4 to 5%, that's the special number for me. And I had actually not been to bed yet, so I was trying to go to bed soon, but I was also looking for a good price. And that is when I first made this purchase around this point in time, like within this time frame here, 11 to 11:10 a.m. And I'll go ahead and throw up the order receipt on the screen here. And as you can see, this says for the Roth IRA, order to buy $164.81 of Tesla stock, which was 0.265 shares at a share price of around $622 rounded up. And according to this, it says that was at around 11:31 a.m. And I think this chart is actually messed up a little bit because when I look at these transactions, I remember certain periods of time where it was at different share prices. So I think within this time frame right here is when I made that purchase. Robinhood's charts have been messed up a lot lately, but you get the point here. I bought near the lowest point of the day and the lowest point of the week, so that was really one of the best possible purchase prices that I could get. And full disclosure, this was for my 2019 Roth IRA account. So if you're not familiar with this already, basically I created a Roth IRA account in October of 2019, and that was with a brokerage through my credit union. And the issue with that is that I have to call up somebody if I want to make them change my position or sell off a position and buy something else. And there's also annual maintenance fees. They basically charged me on fees at any chance that they could get. And then there was also the issue of me just having pure cash in the account because I couldn't use that cash towards a fractional share. I believe it was around like $340 that I couldn't use to buy a fractional share of Tesla stock. So I ended up just deciding to avoid all of those fees and avoid not being able to use a valuable part of that Roth IRA account for 2019. I decided to transfer that over to Fidelity since I already have a 2020 Roth IRA account, and I really like the way it's set up, and I also have a lot of control over it, and I can buy fractional shares. So I transferred that over to Fidelity. I paid like a $140 fee. I know that's pretty ridiculous, but it's worth it because they were charging me like a $43 fee a year just for the annual maintenance fee, which is pretty ridiculous in my opinion, considering that you can only put $6,000 in a year for your Roth IRA, and that money is so valuable, especially the earlier that you max it out, because you have a lot more time in the long term the younger you are when you max out that Roth IRA. So I decided to transfer that over to Fidelity, and I had to pay that transfer fee, and that left me, like I said, with that $164 remaining that I wasn't going to be able to use for a fractional share in my previous brokerage. So at least I was able to finally use that remaining money that would have gone to waste if I just let it sit there and didn't invest in anything. So that was the first part of this purchase, and now with the next part, this is when I pretty much got the best price possible and bought pretty much the exact bottom of not only just that day but also the week as well. And it's pretty hard to perfectly pick a bottom. Yes, I know a lot of it was luck because I had no idea where it would go the rest of the day, but I have to say there were many times right here where I could have had that choice of purchasing, but I decided to wait until a little bit longer. And then once it hit this bottom right here, I started to see it bounce up just ever so slightly. And I thought, you know what, this is probably the time to buy right here. I'm satisfied with the price when I think about it in the long term. So just to go ahead and throw up this purchase receipt as well, I spent $910 on Tesla stock, and it broke it down into two different purchases, one with a full share purchase and one with a fractional share purchase. So with that and me doing it with a market order, I think it broke those into separate transactions, which meant that my purchase price was just slightly different. But you get the point of this because they were both pretty similar to each other. But the first part of the order says, order to buy $910 of Tesla stock, partially filled, one share filled at a price of $617.98, and it says this was at around 11:41 a.m., but like I said, I think the Robinhood charts are a little bit messed up. So that was the first part of the purchase, with just purchasing a full share, and then we have the next part, which finishes off the rest of that $910, which was 0.472 shares filled at a share price of $618.01. So like I said, we pretty much bought the exact bottom of not only that day, but the week as well. So I was pretty excited about that, especially as I saw at the end of the day where it had gone up significantly since then. So we've already made some nice gains on that purchase. And just to have some transparency on these accounts for those of you that are interested, I'll go ahead and throw up the all account screen, which shows both of them combined. That leaves us with a portfolio in this specific Fidelity account with a value of $17,576.21. And you can see with the chart there that it has gone up significantly. And just to break these down specifically to each individual account, I'll go ahead and throw up an image of the first Roth IRA account, which is the one for 2019, and it is currently at a value of $10,506.90. And then next up here, we have the second Roth IRA account, which is the one for 2020. And as it states, the balance is currently at $7,069.31. And for 2020, our total contribution for this one is at $5,740. And that leaves us with a remaining contribution of $260. So basically, to go ahead and max this out for 2020, I need another $260, and then we'll have it done for, and I can focus on the tax payment. I'm probably going to try to go ahead and get this done as soon as possible. I'll probably end up not even trying to find like a perfect time to buy, since it is just around $260. It may most likely just end up being a dollar cost average thing whenever I have the cash. But just referencing my justification for this, like I said, that was just a price that I was pretty satisfied with personally. And I know that it may seem like I'm buying at a premium right now, but with my long-term perspective on this stock, it really doesn't bother me to be paying a little bit more and be pricing it a little bit in the future, just because I want to go ahead and get this account maxed out anyways. And then also, I just really think this company is going to be growing tremendously in the long term, especially with autonomy and just the energy side of their business as well. The autonomy market itself, according to ARK Invest, is to be set around $10 trillion. So there's so much opportunity here, especially with that software as a service revenue and Tesla offering a subscription service for full self-driving as well. There's so much potential here with some high margin revenues, and with Tesla making a lot of money from this in the future, especially if they're the first to master and perfect autonomy, because that will be an absolute game changer. And I can easily see this changing businesses in the future, even aside from just ride sharing. That's just one of many factors of why I'm buying right now. A lot of you all know why I'm making purchases already, because we talk about Tesla stock all the time. But with this video, I just wanted to go into a little bit more depth on the purchase that was made and explain things a little bit more, and just to have that transparency on these purchases, because I always like to let you all know when I'm making purchases, because I'm always one of these people where I'm curious about these things as well. I like to know when certain people are buying stocks also. It's just one of those things that's interesting to me. Please make sure to smash that like button if you enjoyed this video, and definitely make sure to check out my referral links in the description below to Robinhood and Webull. You can get a free stock with Robinhood, and you can get 4 free stocks in total with Webull right now. 2 free stocks for just signing up with my referral link. Those can be valued up to $250, and then you can get another 2 valued up to $1,600 for depositing $100 into your Webull account. And you should be able to take that $100 right back out after you get your free stocks. That's what I did, and it worked for me. So it's basically nice passive income with minimal effort, and it also helps support the channel, which I really appreciate. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week.